Alright everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this tutorial. I'm ExtraNullByte and today we'll be continuing on with the installation of Emunand. In this part we'll cover installing Emunand, FBI, MenuHax and Boot Manager. There was a pause there, I don't know why, but there was. Okay, so let's get started. In my last video I seen a lot of people didn't like the long video format, so I'll try to keep this tutorial as short as possible. It's still gonna be quite long, but it's gonna be way shorter than the previous one. I am listening to you guys. Okay, so the requirements for this tutorial is you need a version 9.2. Your console has to be version 9.2, and the reason why it needs to be 9.2 is because it is the only version that can boot into Emunand. And by only version, I mean it's the highest version possible that can boot into Emunand. The other thing that you're gonna need is an SD card. I recommend about 4 gigabytes minimum, since Emunand is gonna take about 1 gigabyte. The games are gonna require some space as well, so you need at least 4 gigabytes if you want to install 1 or 2 games alongside Emunand. If you have 16 gigabytes SD card, well done, that's perfect. You will also need some free time to do this. It's gonna take about, I don't know, 20-25 minutes, maybe up to an hour, depending on the speed that you're doing this. Okay, so if you go back to my website, I have all the links to files that you're gonna need. So we can start with step 1, preparing the SD card, or preparing and backup. So connect the SD card to the computer. So let's go ahead and connect the SD card to the PC. So go ahead and connect the SD card to the PC. Okay, that opened up on the other screen. There we go. I'll just move it to the screen here. Now, these are the exact files that we had on the last video. So what you want to do is download Soundhacks if you don't have it already. You should have it from the last video. The file that you will need to download is the new version of Other App. Because now we are on version 9.2, we need the 9.2 version of Other App. So just select your version of the console. As you can see, it's 9.20.20E for me. So I'll choose 9.2.0-20E. My console version is old, so go ahead and choose the type of your console and click on Download Other App. Now what you want to do is select your SD card at this point and override the otherapp.bin. So just click on otherapp.bin, click save. Once you get this, do you want to override? Click yes. Now that's going to override the Other App. Previous version of Other App was 11.2. Okay, so we can close that. So we did this, we did that, and we saved it. Download the latest version of Emunand 9. Now, Emunand 9 is a nice tool that's used for creating Emunands. There's another tool that I like to use, it's called the Gateway, but this one is just much easier to work with. So go ahead and download the latest version of Emunand 9 and save it to the desktop. So once you have that, go ahead and open Emunand 9 zip, and inside it you should see a couple of things. What you want to take is the folder 3ds. So take the whole folder and copy it to the SD card. And that's it for this step. So let's go back to the website. So copy the 3ds folder. Okay. Back up your SD card and then connect the SD card back to the 3ds. So let's go ahead and create a backup of our SD card. So what you want to do is right click anywhere on your desktop and create a new folder. Just call it backup. Call it whatever you want, just remember the name. This is where all of our files are going to be. Select all the files on your SD card and right click copy. Now go back to your folder that you just made, open it, and right click anywhere on the white space and paste. This is just so we don't lose any of our games or any of our apps that we have previously installed. All the saves and all of that stuff will be inside the 3DS, Nintendo 3DS folder. So go ahead and create a backup. Okay, so once you have that, we can go ahead and connect the SD card back inside the 3DS and plug it back into the 3DS. There we go. We can go ahead and close out of the settings since we don't need to be in settings anymore. Okay, let's proceed to step 2. It says open the sound player app, choose SD card and play the file. So let's open the sound player. Click next through all of these things. Select the SD card, go ahead and open it and play the Heart Nedville 2016. Now if you get stuck on a yellow screen here, just reboot the console. If it crashes back to the home screen, just re-download the other app and save it to the SD card. Okay, now that we're back in the homebrew launcher, let's go ahead and see what do we have to do next. We did all of this. Okay, once inside homebrew running, once you got the homebrew running, go to step 3. Okay, so scroll down until you get to Emunand 9 application. So let's find Emunand 9. It's right there. So once you have Emunand 9, go ahead and click A on it. This is gonna boot into Emunand 9 settings. Right here, what you want to do is select the first option where it says complete the Emunand setup. Go ahead and press A. It's gonna ask you to press a couple of buttons. Down, up, left, right. So down, up, left, right, A. Once you have that, make sure you backed up your SD card because this step here is gonna wipe everything off the SD card. So once you're happy with that, go ahead and press A. If you do need to create a backup of the SD card, press B and make a backup. Come back to this step once you're done. So go ahead and press A. Now this is gonna reformat our SD card and create another partition. Now you should see it says cloning sysnand to Emunand. This is basically gonna create an exact copy of our system and store it on the SD card. So every time we install any CIA files, they're gonna be installed onto the Emunand instead of our sysnand. In case we do end up bricking our Emunand by installing something that has potential to brick, it's easier to recover Emunand by just installing a new one than to hardmod a console. Okay, I'll fast forward this step so that we don't waste any time, so let this do its thing. Alright, now that this is done, what you want to do is press B and then press select to unmount the SD card. So once you have that, go ahead and take the SD card out and plug it inside the computer. There we go. As you can see, our SD card is blank. There's nothing on it. So let's select all of these. Let's move to step 4, restoring. So open up the backup folder that you made and take all the files from that backup folder and copy them back to the SD card. So right click copy, right click paste on the SD card. Okay, so once you have that, you can continue on. So we're done with restoring. So the next step is download FBI injectable. So go ahead and click on that link and go ahead and click on download through your browser. Now save this file to your desktop. Once the download is complete, go ahead and open the FBI 2.4.2. Now locate a file that corresponds to your version of your 3DS and the region of your 3DS. For example, I am on the old 3DS Europe version, so I'm going to choose this one here. If you have a new 3DS from USA, you would choose this file here. So go ahead and take the file that corresponds to your 3DS and copy it inside Files 9 directory. So take this file and just drag it over to Files 9 directory. So once you have that, you can close the FBI zip, and let's go back to the website. So we did that. Download the latest version of Luma 3DS. So go ahead and click on the link. Once you're on the GitHub page, scroll down until you get to Luma 3DS version 6.6.7. In the future this might change, but for now it's 6.6.7, so download the latest version. Save this to the desktop as well. Once the download is done, go ahead and open Luma 3DS zip file that we just downloaded. Now there are two things that you need to copy to your SD card. One of them is arm9 loaderhacks.bin. Take this and copy it to the root of your SD card. The next thing you need is this folder called MenuHax. So take the whole folder and copy it to the root of your SD card. Okay, so once you have that done, go ahead and close the Luma 3DS zip that you downloaded. And let's go back to the website. So we copied the MenuHax folder to the root, and we copied the arm9 loaderhacks.bin to the SD card. The next thing here is rename boot.3dsx to boot_hb.3dsx. So find boot.3dsx on your SD card, right click on it and rename. And what you want to name it is boot_hb.3dsx. HB stands for homebrew, if you were wondering. Okay, so that step is done as well. Alright, so we can go ahead and proceed to downloading the boot manager. So go ahead and click on download bootmanager.zip. Alright, download it through your browser and save it to the desktop. Now once the download is complete, go ahead and open the bootmanager.zip. Inside it you should see two files, config.cfg and boot.3dsx. This is why we needed to rename that boot.3dsx that was on our SD card. So go ahead and take both of these files and copy them to the root of your SD card. So now that you're done with that, go ahead and close the zip and let's go back to the website. So now that you have that step completed, go ahead and take the SD card out of the SD card reader and connect it back to the console. Right, once you have that, go ahead and press start to reboot. Alright, once you boot into the device, go ahead and choose a theme for your console. You can do this by clicking on the little house icon in the top left and click on choose theme. You can choose any of these that you want, but for the sake of the video I'll go with red, since red indicates danger, so I'll go with red. Now you want to go to the sound player next and run the exploit. So go ahead and click next, next, OK. Choose SD card, open and play the file. This is going to execute that exploit. So while that's doing that, I'll go ahead and mark a couple of things on the website. So once you get here, this is the boot selection menu. Okay, once you get here, you want to select the homebrew menu option, which is the second from top. So go ahead and press A on that. This is going to boot you into the homebrew launcher. Once you're here, scroll down and find MenuHax Manager version 3.2. So once you're there, go ahead and press A. If it freezes at any point, just reboot the console and try again. Now this step here is going to require you to have internet. So if you have no Wi-Fi connected, go ahead and connect your Wi-Fi and redo this step again. So go ahead and choose install. Go ahead and press yes in this part here. Now this is going to go ahead and download a couple of files from the internet and save it on the SD card. Now once everything is done, it's going to tell you here to press A to continue, so go ahead and press A. And the next thing you need to do is press B and then press start to exit. Okay, so let's look at our website here. Scroll down, choose homebrew, run MenuHax, choose install, yes, press A to continue, press B, and then press start. Okay, so the next step is enter the homebrew menu again. So choose homebrew menu and let's enter it. Go ahead and find decrypt 9 and run that. So press A on decrypt 9. Okay, so once you're in this menu, go ahead and choose the Emunand options. And go down to the miscellaneous option. So go ahead and click miscellaneous. And in this menu here, what you want to do is choose health and safety inject and press A. Follow the on-screen instructions. It's going to say press a couple of buttons, this and that. So go ahead and press left, right, down, up, and A. Once you do that, you're going to see FBI version 2.4.2. If you don't see this, go ahead and redo step 4 again and download that FBI injectable.zip. So once you're in this screen here and you have this option available, go ahead and press A. Now this is going to take a couple of seconds, but once you get the green message, you're good to go. So go ahead and proceed to step 6. So step 6 says hold the left trigger button and press start to reboot. So go ahead and hold the left trigger button and then press start to reboot. The screen is gonna go all funky and stuff, but that's all normal. If it freezes at any point on this yellow screen, you can go ahead and reboot and try again. Okay, once the console is fully off, once this light here turns off. Okay, so once it's off, go ahead and hold the left trigger and press the power button. So once you're back here, what you want to do is choose Luma 3DS. So go ahead and choose the first option and press A. You will be greeted with Luma 3DS settings. So go ahead and choose these two options. Enable region/language and show NAND or user string in system settings. So once you have them two things selected, go ahead and press start. And this is going to boot us into Emunand. So we can go on the website and select all of these things that we did. Okay, so now if you go to the settings, you will notice that we are in Emunand, and the version of Emunand is going to be the same as our sysnand. Right here it says EMU version 9.2.0-20E. Now, if your console says anything other than EMU or EMU, go ahead and hold the left trigger and hit the close button. This is going to boot you back into the boot selection menu and choose Emunand again. Now, do not leave this menu if you see this here. What you want to do is go to Other Settings, hit the right button about 3 times, and choose Update or System Update. Go ahead and choose OK, and I accept. This is going to require internet as well, so be patient and just wait for that to complete. Also, make sure your 3DS is plugged in and do not power it off while it's doing this, else that's going to cause a brick. Okay, once you get this option here, just go ahead and click OK. Now the console is going to boot back into version 9.2 even though we ran an update. So we can confirm that by going to the settings. You should see that the version is still 9.2. Which is a good thing, because our Emunand is now updated to the latest version while our sysnand is still on 9.2. This is exactly what we want. Okay, so it's time to unlink our console. What you want to do is take the SD card out of your console So just take it out, put it next to you or something. And you want to go to Other Settings, press right 3 times, and choose the very last menu or very last option here that says Format System Memory. So go ahead and choose that. Click Next, and then click on the Format button. And then just wait for this red Format button to become visible and go ahead and press it. Okay, what you want to do here is do all of these settings really fast. It doesn't really matter what you choose, but again, go ahead and just do the settings from the beginning. So go ahead and turn on the 3D option, click Next, and I'll fast forward all of this because this is boring to watch. Alright, so once you have all them settings completed, go ahead and click Next. And at this point, you can go ahead and insert the SD card back inside the 3DS. Okay, let's choose the 2 options here that as completed, or mark them as completed. Okey-doke. Okay, now that the SD card is back inside the 3DS, you can go ahead and choose a new theme for your 3DS. This is gonna be our SysNAND theme. So go ahead and choose a new theme here. Again, I'll choose red for my SysNAND. This is just gonna indicate that I am currently on SysNAND and not in Emunand. By doing the last step, we kinda messed up Menuhax. Since we formatted our SysNAND, all the previous Menuhax settings have been deleted, so we need to reinstall Menuhax. This is unavoidable and it is part of the process. So go ahead and open the sound player and run the exploit once again. So go ahead and click Next, Next, OK. Choose SD card. And this is the last time that you'll use this to enter Homebrew. Okay, once you're in this menu here, go ahead and choose the Homebrew menu. Once you're in this menu here, go ahead and find MenuHax Manager version 3.2. So there it is, MenuHax Manager version 3.2. And what you want to do here is hit the install button. Go ahead and follow the on-screen instructions here. It's going to ask you, did you read? Yes. Skip updating. You can either say yes or no. I'll go with yes. It's going to reinstall a couple of things. Okay, once you're here, it's going to say press A to continue. Go ahead and press A. Now the next thing you want to do is go ahead and scroll all the way down. Set up a built-in home menu. Click on that and then choose one of the basic colors for your SysNAND to use. Again, I'll go with red. And go ahead and press A on this. And then press A once again. So once you're back to this menu, go ahead and press B. And then press Start to exit. Now, once you are here, you can boot into Luma 3DS one more time. This boot is going to take a bit longer since we haven't run this version of Emunand yet. It's doing the initial updating steps. And here we have a couple of new things added to our 3DS. Since we are on the latest version, we're gonna get these notifications and such and such. It says to create a new theme, go ahead and choose that. Go ahead and change the color of this system and choose any color you want. I'm gonna go with a black color for my Emunand. This way I can differentiate between my Emunand and my sysnand, since red is my sysnand and black is gonna be my Emunand. So go ahead and confirm that. And this is it. So we can confirm that we have our FBI installer right here, so we can launch it as well, which is gonna be used in the next video when we install freeshop and install a couple of games using that. As you can see here, the FBI installer works just fine, no problem. So let's exit out of that. And let's go back to our settings to confirm that we are on the latest version. As you can see here, Emunand version 11.2. Now, if I hit close here, I'm gonna get booted back into my sysnand. So whenever you want to go back to your Emunand, you have to hold the left shoulder button down while either rebooting a console or leaving a systems menu. As you see here, we have the red background, and this just means that we are in sysnand. So I'm gonna boot back into my Emunand, so I'm gonna go back to settings once again. And I'm gonna hold the left shoulder button down and hit close. As you can see here, it's version 9.2. So go ahead and hit close while holding the left shoulder button. And at this point, what you want to do is go inside your Emunand. So go ahead and start Luma 3DS. And that's it. Now you got Emunand installed and working. You also got FBI installed, so you can use it to install any CIA files that you want. Your Emunand is on the latest version, and you can access the eShop, and you can go and play online games as well. The next step will cover installing freeshop and installing a couple of games to try out. Okay, this has been ExtraNullByte. Thanks for watching. Cheers.